all about reflections and learnings from a kaleidoscope of creator, guest, and audience. So please welcome Vijay Singh, Chairman, Mentor Card, and former CIO Hero Motocorp. He has been there as a guest from beginning to every milestone. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Jagdish, and good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations on the 50th month milestone. Well done.
Thank you, sir. And we have Amarinder Singh. He's the Chief Involvement Officer of CIO Association of India. He has been an audience in most of the episodes, right from the first one. Amarinder, welcome to the chat. Amarinder, you're on mute. You can unmute yourself.
Thanks a lot, Jagdish, for inviting me. Always love the ClariTea Chat, and so good to have Sasiti with us again today.
Hi, Amarinder.
Yeah.
So
Hi.
that's great.
Cheers.
We are looking forward to cheers, sir. So we are looking forward to today's session with three different perspectives. So thank you all for joining today's 140th chat. It feels special and nostalgic. We have not one but three hosts. So I'm not going to ask questions, but all of us are going to ask questions to each other. And the credit for this phenomenal, innovative idea of having three hosts and three guests goes to none other than Vijay sir. Thank you, Vijay sir, for that.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah. Before we start, this chat comes during the auspicious period of Navratris, and we wish everyone the love, blessings, and benevolence of Mother Goddess. During a recent team conversation, we discussed that why not share the key takeaways from 4 years of episodes, almost 4 years, 2 months to be precise, through a balanced kaleidoscope of our guests and audiences who have lived the journey with us. Well, originally the idea was like I do a solo session and then said no, why not bring a more richer perspective. So before we go forward, here is a quick recap of some power-packed sips from the clarity. When I bring on the clarity sips video, okay, or you want me to do it?
Why is the conflict? Conflict is because if the project succeeds, who gets the credit? If the project fails, who gets the blame?
It does not have to be an either or. I have always been an and person.
Number one is how should I be? Correct. Number two is how should I deal with the team? Number three is how should I deal with the tasks?
Technology for me.
Vinay, is the stream coming on LinkedIn? I'm getting an error here.
There's some issue.
Yeah, there's some issue. So give me a minute. I will remove the destination and add it once again. Okay, let me add the destination once again. Okay, it happens. It never. Wait, let me. Okay, so I just need to connect it. Let me see how to do that. Vinay, is there a way to reconnect it?
Vijay sir, let me ask you if it is okay. How have you?
Yeah, while these guys come in, I think that's good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, so how have you dealt with a situation when a important demo or something has failed and you've had an amazing audience? Senior folks or board. How did you manage that?
I really like that question right on the time. So I think one of the key things over here is these things do happen. So one should not ever be too confident that these things will not happen, or if these things happen, one shouldn't feel bad about it.
Right.
The key thing is how do you keep your calm and
Right.
come out of the situation. Murphy's
My
law
God,
was,
sir.
I don't know when Murphy's law was put. Long before we started ClariTea Chat. ClariTea Chat.
Yeah, that's right. This is not the first time. So Vinay, it says I think we can't do this on LinkedIn. So can you just drop a message on LinkedIn with a YouTube link that everybody can connect to YouTube?
No worries. No worries. We can
Vinay,
continue.
just drop this on LinkedIn chat that everybody could connect on YouTube. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so sir, let's continue the. I mean, despite this faux pas, let's continue with the video.
Application of
You can
science.
send a link to people again.
The moment you apply technology.
Okay, let me restart this video.
Why is the conflict? Conflict is because if the project succeeds, who gets the credit? If the project fails, who gets the blame?
It does not have to be an either or. I have always been an and person.
Number one is how should I be? Number two is how should I deal with the team? Number three is how should I deal with the task?
Technology for me is application of science. The moment you apply technology to human life, that translation is done by designers. And that is what we call user experience.
You need to partner with business a lot. You can't be sitting in isolation.
We are very happy to say this is business, this is IT, I'm IT, you are business. Stop it. Okay, we are all business at the end of it.
What the IT department needs to do is listen to their challenge and solve it.
या तो नौकरी करना या नखरे करना.
So that was like a quick reflection. I'm sure we cannot cover all the guests and everybody. So whoever, I think the best part was the last one that are able to have a lot of fun while doing this, and that's what I can say. Just keeps us going. Okay, so these are just few of the glimpses, and I think if you look at across 140 chats, 140th one is today. It's a very, very rich rainbow of perspectives, and today's session recaps this journey. So how we have designed this session is like 4 parts: genesis and motivation. It's not just a spark, but that spark has been cascade, and how did it happen? Learnings and reflections through different lenses. Aminder's lens as an audience, Vijay's lens as a guest. Emerging themes from 50 months of ClariTea Chat, and then the audience voice, which makes ClariTea Chat different. And yes, of course, all of you as an audience, please add your reflections and your takeaways as well. Let's make it interactive. Please drop your questions in the comments on YouTube. LinkedIn is not working. How do I tell who's joining the next it is not working. I hope Vinay is dropping a message. So by the end of the session, the completely diverse experience, rich viewpoint, showing how a spark persisted into 50 months of learning and growing experience. But before I give the mic to our esteemed panelists, I want to acknowledge our audience, all of you, the CXOs, founders, IT managers, and seasoned technology leaders. We all know the multi-layered and fast-moving complexities of technology and management. And our endeavor has been to bring you clarity from the experience of our guests. And this session brings you your voice to the studio presented by Amarinder. It has been a journey of co-creation, deeper connections, and learnings from each other with all my guests, and we have been cheered by our audience, engaging session after session. So, all of you listening to us live or recorded, this time probably it's way more of recorded. Thanks to your encouragement and engagement from all over the world, we wouldn't have reached 139 or now 140 without. So whoever is on YouTube, please send us your names, locations you're joining from, and your questions to our guests. And thank you all for attending. Let's get on with the curiosity with our panel guests. So yes, since
Okay.
since I'm the guest today, over to you, Vijay.
Jagdish, thank you very much. Congratulations once again. I think
Thank you, sir.
4 years and few months is a long journey sustaining it. I remember somewhere in April or May 21, we had the first discussion about it on this. We thought of this idea of hosting ClariTea Chat, and you're kind enough to invite me as the first guest. So, though I'm aware of some bit of background, but let me ask you, and you can share with the audience as to what was that spark that made you start this ClariTea Chat in the first place?
Yeah. So, sir, we all attend IT conferences, and what I realized over many of them is that real conversations are not happening on the stage; they are happening off the stage. Okay? And the taboo topics are not discussed on the stage. We share our pains with each other. Of it, conferences portray our CIOs as award winners and achievers, but the reality was that everybody was struggling with the complexity, which unfortunately the remaining people or executives in the business did not understand. The way we could empathize with each other. So when I came out, one of the things was that now I can say anything. Being a free bird, that's an advantage. And then we said, that, okay, why not pick up those real conversations around technology? But I wanted it to be a very strong purpose group. 2 months after I got my live approved, LinkedIn doesn't give the live to everybody. Once they approved mine, then mine was like, how do I? What is the purpose? Why should we do it? So after deliberations and like discussions with even with you, we put our hands around 4 factors we put right in the and that formed the initial framework of the tech. And as we brought in guests and audience, people really donated the whole purpose and why we should do it. And I think that's what successful. So my first one is like the purpose was very strong that even when I got discouraged, it didn't let me stop. And I think I mean,
Sure.
I want to share one article that a summary of an article that Amarinder shared in preparation of this chat, which basically around similar to what we have been discussing in clarity for last 4.5 years. Uh, I mean, 83% is Vijay's figure, but global is also 70%, not less. 70% of the today. True transformation requires organizational change. Leadership must set the vision. It's a more holistic one, culture, processes, incentives. It's an enterprise-wide effort. We need to experiment, adapt, and learn. It's all about people and processes. Technology is just an enabler, right? And it has to be embedded into the DNA of the organization, not as some agency. So thank you, Amrinder, for sharing that article. And I, of course, use ChatGPT to summarize it in one slide.
No,
Uh,
you're welcome. Cool.
thank you,
So,
thank you.
sure. So, can I jump in, or you would want to
Yeah,
add?
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, first of all, Jagdish, not only for you, but I want to start by thanking Mr. Vijay Sethi. I have said this on ClariTea Chat earlier, and I'll say it now that almost all good initiatives in the Indian community start with Mr. Vijay Sethi. So, not only you, but I'm also been a beneficiary of that. Sir is very kind and supportive. If you go sincerely to him with a request. So Jagdishji, thanks for bringing the HBR article, and yeah, that's a very strong purpose. But you, given being an ex-CXO yourself, after the few episodes and what kept you going on and on once the novelty little bit starts to wear off, once that excitement goes a bit down, which happens with like many creators.
You're on mute, Jagdish.
You, yeah, you're
Yeah, no, there's a feedback that the audio is not clear. There's a sound. There's a wind noise.
Ah, yes, even I wanted to share
Coming
that.
from your end, I can feel that.
So, sir, I tried muting my mic and it still comes. So that's why
Okay.
I went.
You're
So
on
maybe
mute.
Vijay sir and Amrita, if you can just mute your mics one by one, just find out where it is coming from. Yeah, I think Amrinder, you unmute yourself. Yeah, I think Vijay sir, this is coming from your side because now it's clear.
Okay, I'll keep myself on mute.
No, I don't do that. Maybe if your fan or something.
I'll just unmute myself. Oh, that's what
Sure,
I
sir.
meant.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks. So Amrinder, now coming back to your question, thanks, Satya, for that feedback. Um, um, one was, of course, as I said, the purpose itself, Amrinder, it was very strong. But then, there was an encouragement from everyone. I don't think we have been perfect. I'm not a professional content creator or, influencer or anything like that. But, whoever I met, even I remember somebody in my club, in my golf club, who's remotely, associated with the technology. This guy met me and he said, "Oh, ये चाय पे चर्चा वाला बंदा आ गया."
Right, right,
So there's an encouragement from everybody, and I think I've been very fortunate there. The other thing is that when I do these chats, it is not like we just come across each other. We do almost 1 hour to 3 hour chats earlier, and these are deep
right.
dives. So I would say that each one of us is like an iceberg. What you see in terms of you and your current role today is only 10%. There's a 90% hidden beneath, in terms of where you come from and what kind of organizations you've worked on, what kind of challenges you've faced. And we had these very, very freewheeling conversations, where we get to know each other very deeply, almost like more than best friends. Okay, so and
Right.
there are of course learnings in that because it's happening in a professional context. I think the third one which allowed me to do it is, we set up a very elaborate process. Of course, it evolved over a period of time. There's SOPs and technologies, and that allowed winner to run it. Okay, and I just want to bring this up. Okay,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
the amount of preparation we put in, between mostly done by Vinay. I review it. So what happens is that by the time we come to the chat, it's very relaxed. So one is the entire process, SOPs, whatever we use, it makes it light on me. So despite my pressures, allows me to give time to it. Plus, it allows Vinay to run it almost independently. And the
Sure.
third is that, you saw all those smiles and laughs during the chat, which we included in our snippets. Having a process like that just sets everyone free to have a very, very freewheeling chat. Uh, and so I think that's how it's sustained. But the biggest one, is the audience feedback that, they've always
Right,
been telling what they want, what they don't want, etc. Right? uh,
right.
and that kept us evolving.
Right. No, that is good. That is good. So, so coming on the audience feedback, right? So, that was my reason as well to, to
Yeah. So
come.
my question. Sorry, I didn't answer your question. It could have stopped, right? So before I answer that question, Amarinder, my question to you, right? As one of the earliest audience members, and you have kept coming back, like what pulled you back again and again?
Yeah, no, thanks. In fact, I'm very eager to share it in the community. So, and I'll be as candid as always. So, I think when the Clarity Chat started, it very intuitively reminded me of the, of what was the kind of initiatives my colleague Tapan Garg was doing when he started Great CIO and CIO Association of India. Yeah,
2009.
yes, sir. 2000, and sir, I think I joined in 2009, but I think you had already interacted with him. So he did this breakfast meets with, his company name was Great CIO. What makes the CIO great? With
Correct.
it's Lakshman Badigar of Wipro. I think he would have reached out to you and Sarun Gupta, right?
Yeah.
So I think the initial, it had the same vibe of the Clarity Chat had, like, what makes a CIO a really a great leader. So I think that that whole purpose. The is in 2019 as part of we had done CIO debate series, across India. Um, and the HBR article which I had shared with Jagdish ji, which he pulled up, so we did a CIO debate on that. Technology is the primary driver of digital transformation, and there is a for and against, and that was so we did this with Dell in the Dell Technologies Forum in 4 cities. And Jagdish ji, if you remember, we had Mr. Vijay Ramchandran, our dear friend, come and talk on the third episode, right? So I think
Correct.
what the driver for me, one was that the intuitive feeling of the beginning of my organization is exactly the same kind of content being done. Second was that we want to serve. I want to serve the community, and for that you need to learn the community perspective. And Clarity Chat is the very best platform to learn the perspective. I'll just bring a small example here. See, you have two kinds of commentators, right? One is a professional commentator, and second is who's been a player himself or herself, right? They're able to analyze the game, much better. So that was the another reason that here I had an ex-CIO, asking questions to the fellow peers, right? So that was there. Then the third one is what really impressed me is the foundation thesis which you played in the video in the beginning about technology being a nascent function, cuts across various functions and divisions, and the marketing spend and the Hotel California, challenge which is there. So now, as my senior colleague Tapan and my dear friend Amarpreet Kalkat, they say that once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You can't like close your eyes after that, right? So I think your opening thesis of the Clarity Chat is very, very strong, very, very phenomenally strong. So I think the purpose, the why, why, what, how, the format, being very natural, very candid, with the being correct without being politically correct, right? So that's I think that's what's the main reason to keep for me, and I'm sure for many others, to keep coming back.
Awesome. I think that answers your question to me that we could have stopped, but why didn't we stop?
Right.
So again, Vijay sir, the same question to you. You were the very first guest on Clarity Chat, and now 4 years later, you're coming with us. Of course, I invite you because your perspectives are very important. So, what is it about Clarity Chat that continues to excite you?
Thanks, Jagdish. I think few things as I see. Number one, for each one of us, irrespective of field, and especially in IT field, learning is something which has to be a lifelong journey. Okay, and it's a continuous journey. So for me, this was a forum which is actually giving kind of learning of so many peers and other people in a condensed 1 hour slot. So one could really gain a lot from that perspective. And the best part was these are authentic discussions. These are not just for some conference or some outside thing where you just put the glossy part of it. Real authentic discussions were happening, and that's really nice. So one had meaningful conversations. The questions from the audience were very thought-provoking. So while one would also understand the answer given by the audience, by the guest, but irrespective, when you really reflect back on the question, it gave me a lot of points to ponder upon, and that to me was also a great motivation. Another motivation, I think, whether you like it or not, somewhere I always felt, and we had a bit of discussion on this one, was that the fact that you kept it sponsor free. So, which meant that there's nobody's particular, I won't call it agenda, but maybe the focus area being driven in these discussions. So there's nothing right, nothing wrong. No one is better, no one is less important. So everyone is there. I think that really made the entire thing going, and that's why I've been coming back on this both as a guest and as an audience since what, 9th June 21. So today we are on in September 21, September 25. So it's 4 years, 3-4 months. Fantastic.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. By the way, I think keeping it sponsor was again one of the feedbacks that I think in a chat with you with a few of you.
You had shared it. I think that really made sense. So let me just ask you back, Jagdish, on this one. So to me, while we as guests or Amarinder, who has been an audience for maximum number of durations, and others have been good beneficiaries of this. But the reality is the biggest beneficiary is someone who has attended all the 140 sessions. Now I won't call it 139 sessions, all the 140 odd sessions. Someone who's, and the only person who's done is someone called Mr. Jagdish Singh. Okay. Now, if you were to condense this 50 months of intense learning, as I was talking about the learning earlier, what is your own learning, and what would you really do after that? Would you get into podcast? Would you do something different?
Yeah, so sir, as I said, I think you were the first one to catch that the biggest beneficiary from ClariTea Chat is Jagdish Singh himself, and it is like you were bang on, 10 out of 10. So as I said, sir, I made good friends, and with a deep appreciation of professionally, I'm wiser, and some of these nuggets, I bring to my consulting. For example, one of the things somebody made, after the concert dialogues, a lot of those dialogues I sometimes with my clients and like talking for them and all. And one of them was like, there was a small company, and they grew it, and in the beginning they used to tell one thing to their clients. It is that it's not the head count, it's the heads that count. Okay. And you won't believe, I think this Wednesday, 3 days back, I actually made that comment to somebody that it's not the head, it's not the head count, it's the heads that count. And I was smiling that, oh my God, I got this from ClariTea Chat. I think the other one is like, I've been able to view a lot of organization through those lens of experiences. From an outside in point of view, I think my knowledge of different industries has improved, whether it's retail or whether it's like those towers and all of that. And then I think many of the CIOs have said that like build capability, don't chase money, that will come if you build capability, right? Then again, mindset has been like a great learning, that you need to have that mindset of like I can do anything, right? And then I'm ready to take risks, right? And transformation requires consistent envisioning what's going to come, building a belief, and that has in a way sort of persevered me in my own startup Block and Go. So lots and lots of them, lot of things about leadership, customer centricity, gamification. I remember Anjani's, session, and how he embedded analytics in the organization is like, this cascaded process of sending analytics mails that, in the morning 6 o'clock you send it to the lowest level of guys, then 7 o'clock or 7:30 you send it to the next level of guys, then 9 o'clock you send to the next level of guys. To the senior executives, you only send it at 10 o'clock. By the time everyone is ready with answers. And that really those are like, nuggets you only get when you interact like this. So,
Right. Right. No, that is very true. So if I may just add up and ask you a little trick question, Jagdish, over here, is
okay.
just that you've been, as you say, the ClariTea Chat, is a platform to learn the art and science from the practitioners themselves. And as as the foundation thesis say, right, many a times there are no clear, right or wrong or black and white answers to what you do, and you're building a startup, and you've been doing consulting as well. So in these interactions with your distinguished peers, has it made you reflect that there are more than one choices, or there are more than one approach, and would you be more open and inclusive? Or if you reflect back on your choices as a CIO, that there would have been another ways to deal with the same situation, or if it comes in future, because when you're doing it, you are very close to your own approach. But when you listen a lot of others who have dealt with it and with varying degrees of success, so has it made somewhere a little bit dent, if I may ask, if I'm allowed to ask that?
Oh, no, no, absolutely. Like, if anybody has the time and patience to go through all the ClariTea Chat episodes, you will find that, like, leadership is like, different religions, right? So, you take different paths, but your goal is the same. And, that's the thing, that, the technology has to be used for business success, but you can take different paths. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been really enriched with the multiplicity of different paths that people have taken. End of the day, everybody has reached a technology leadership role or a business leadership role. But I think the paths they have taken, because everybody has started in different places. Somebody started from a village, somebody started, like, has been a career Mumbaiite. Somebody started from a slum, and then, like, how they have reached their path. There are commonalities, but I think all those paths have been different, and that has been
Right.
very
Right. Right.
Amarinder, now you have been an audience member since ages, and I have known you since 2009 when we first met, and 15, 16 years we have had so many interactions, especially pre-COVID. There was a lot of interactions. Okay, now what have been your own key takeaways from all the sessions, and what motivated you to come every time? And if you can share one story of all
Yeah,
these sessions.
sure. Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. So, sir, I've, starting from your first edition, it's been a story of learning. Very quickly, one is this, that, of all the guests who've been at ClariTea Chat, many of them I knew, some I didn't know. But even those whom I knew, you don't know them so well. There is always something new, in the ClariTea Chat, which comes out. Now, in terms of some of the very quick themes, I think that in terms of there are no IT projects, there are only business projects. That was a very profound learning I had initially, which got more and more ingrained as we went along. And then sooner or later, any discussion, any business or a technical discussion then starts moving towards change management and program management, and that becomes very important across the organization hierarchy. So I think these were some of the learnings which kept coming on and on. And in terms of the story, there's been some very moments of deep learning. In fact, in one of the summaries I've written that this applies not only to IT, but it applies to life as well. And there has been some emotional connect as well, especially during COVID time when we were not able to meet. But I think one story which stays very close to my heart is about someone whom we all very fondly miss right now, Mr. Jitender Singh, because he's been part of some of our initiatives. And in the ClariTea Chat, I asked him about sustainability, and he gave me a very, very domain-oriented answer. Starting with the pillars and the goals, and how seriously their organization takes, and how the promoters are very keen on that. And in fact, I then invited him to speak on one of the engagements we were doing on sustainability. So I think that is also an example where I've gone beyond just being an audience for my own learning to actually applying it to my work, as well. Yeah, and there are others as well, stories, but I think in interest of time, maybe I'll pause it here.
So, just because you talk about Jitendra, there's one special one about Jitendra, and I'm sure wherever he's hearing us.
Oh,
So it was like, I mean, we have been like good friends, but our prep check that I do before the session, uh, it basically is spilled over 3 different sessions and collectively about almost 4 hours of discussion.
okay.
Okay.
That-
Including during the prep chat, I actually took my laptop and showed him my library, and he showed me his. And we have like
right.
library, right?
No,
Yeah,
yes, wonderful human being, and there was so much warmth in his voice, right? When you recall it, it gives you, right. So yeah, let's hope this message goes to him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really nice. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Jagdish.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think I have a question to this. Yeah. So, sir, you've been kind, and I think there have been, we have celebrated many milestones of ClariTea Chat, 25, 50th, and you've been there in most of them. And you've always encouraged, and there's always new to learn from you for all of us. But beyond that, what has been your driver to be back? And what has been some of your learnings from some episodes or some of the content which gets discussed in ClariTea Chat?
Okay. So I think the way Jagdish put it, that the various CIOs, other leaders who come in from very different backgrounds. Otherwise,
Right.
one would know them only for their professional projects they would have done or activities they would have done, come on the conference, whatever they have spoken, or you talk on the sidelines of the conference. But when you really listen to them in such an authentic way over here, as I see, my own respect for many of these guys are really increased a lot. So that the struggles that they have gone through, the stories that they have shared, and all these so authentic stuff that you really start respecting those guys much more than whatever you do. Another thing is, I always felt, and I think during these sessions, many of my own beliefs were kind of sealed, that leadership is about empathy. It is about collaboration. It is not about a position, and it has to be a continuous lifelong journey. If you look at the various guests who have come in, they have given so many examples of empathy, collaboration, their own learnings, how they have really kept themselves updated. And that, I think, to my mind, is the biggest learning, not just for me, but as I see it, could be a huge learning for a lot of the people who want to really kind of follow those leaders. The last, rather than getting too long, I'll say that if you really synthesize many of these people who have achieved big, have come out of their comfort zone.
Right.
If you stay in that comfort zone, कि ठीक है यार मैं तो बस साहब बन गया. So then you can't really go beyond a particular point. So you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to also face failures many times, and you should have courage to accept those failures, learn from them, and move on. And I think that came across in many of the episodes very, very clearly. And to my mind, that's very inspiring. very inspiring. My own respect for those guys has gone up significantly. Finally, last minute, I think one thing which all of us need to learn is, which I also keep on discussing, Jagdish, is the importance of time management. I think that's
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm looking at the watch as you say that. Uh, but I'll quickly sneak in. Jagdish, if Mr. Sethi is saying that ClariTea Chat helped him, I mean, respect for peers going up. I think there can be no better testimonial, for this initiative when an accomplished leader like him, says this. Then it really means that you have been able to, bring out something very, very valuable for a long time to stay.
well said.
Kudas to that. I mean, I really, really cheers to that.
Thank you. Yeah. So, unfortunately, our LinkedIn connection didn't work today. Not the first time. So,
No worries,
uh,
no worries.
so, we don't have too many audience questions, but I have a barrage of, comments from Sats, Prakash, from Doctor. And I mean, what I really appreciate about Sats, is that, he wakes up early in the morning on a Saturday to attend our chat. So let me bring in some comments from Sats. Kudos to Vinay and team. Yeah, Vinay and team is Vinay and Vinay only, Sats. So he's the whole guy who.
One man army.
In fact, now it has become like, I'm in a support role. So he does everything and I'm in a support role. Okay, Vinay, this is okay. This is okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the fun thing. So he says, please buy my latest biography on JCB, Talk to Clarity. Okay. And how passing 140 videos I have content for my latest biography. I don't think Sats that will be my latest biography. It will be a biography of all my guests as well. Okay. Thanks, Sats, for that gesture. I still remember, he's one guy who's been pushing me, Jagdish, why don't you convert ClariTea Chat into a compendium, right? Of knowledge where you can do, now that we have guest wise all these things, now we can actually cut it like, slice and dice it from theme wise. Been on my mind, but Sats, it's on my bucket list. One of those, हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले. One of those ख्वाहिशें to convert it. I'm actually, talking to some guys who are into AI in terms of like, how to convert, how to, let's say, feed this almost 170 hours of content into an AI tool and like, ask it to create the first draft. Let's hope we'll get some dedicated time.
That's really fantastic. So Jagdish, what all of us have noticed is that before you start talking to the guests, you first always acknowledge audience, and also during the conversation, you really bring in audience a lot, and also give your own gratitude to the audience. I think, to my mind, that's really, really amazing, and I must compliment you for that. But the question that I would have is, from your perspective, what is that magic from the community that you are looking at, and what do you really get from this community?
Yeah. Sir, I mean, first thing where it comes from. So when my first job was a customer service job, and whether I liked it or not, I had to be in front of the customers. So customers sort of became my first teachers. Okay. And that actually made me a Gemba man. So, it's like, I never sit in somewhere, I don't make up my mind. But whenever my business leaders would come and tell me that, hey, I want this solution, I would say, I first want to understand the situation on the ground. So I'll go take a tour of their shop, and then I will open my mouth, right? So it's always been like, the people who best know are the receivers of whatever you are giving them. And therefore, their views become important. Listening to the customer's voice is always important. So we have tried to build, not as much as we could do, but we've tried to build, a lot of stuff in terms of acknowledging our audience, whether it is So Vinay does a lot of that hard work as a process that, for every comment where we have done any kind of response, he says that, hey, your response is in so and so. And then we bring out the timestamp post and all of that. And I think, if so, the biggest thing for me, we started ClariTea Chat as an accident. Okay. I think I've talked about it before. We were just testing out this clarity. We were just testing out this live thing, whether it works or not, right? And I went live, and it seems LinkedIn sent out notifications to my network, and within no time, we had 30 people joined in. And then we had to do a very, very impromptu chat, right? So I that was like one big spark that, oh my God, there are people who are, who have questions and who are looking for answers. With whatever God has given me, I can share some of that experience. And then the next thing that happened was, why don't I do it along with my leaders? Because I mean, the situation is similar, and we can actually do a much richer experience. And that's why I always they have been the one who have always given perspectives. They are the ones who always ask you very, very insightful questions. And I did feedback sessions with them. They were very, very frank in telling me that, Jagdish, your AMA sessions have to be theme driven, right? In fact, they also told me that, Jagdish, please don't get sponsors. Okay. So they have been very outspoken, and that has helped us all this. And and I think gratitude in itself is a big blessing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Amarinder, you have been part of the audience for the longest possible time and maximum number of episodes. How do you think this audience has evolved, and what is your own perspective of audience engagement?
Yeah, sure, sir. Thanks for the question. So one of the learnings which happened over a period of time for me is that I realized that while attending ClariTea Chat, I realized this, that there is an audience within a community, and there is a community within an audience, right? So
Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So for example, we have various groups and forums. I'm part of this group, I'm part of the forum. Now you might say that ClariTea Chat doesn't have that community in a formal sense of word. There's not a group we have joined, right? But every episode there are few folks who attend, and who'll say, like, you and I will exchange hello, and like Sats is there, right? So while there is no formal definition of a community here, but there are few of us who are there, and we remember, oh, today he couldn't join, or he sent a message, right? So so there is a community within a so-called audience, right? So that is one one very aha moment I had. So that was one. Secondly, as we all discussed so far, ClariTea Chat has been very purpose driven. So I think the kind of audience it attracts are also very purpose driven, because they are coming to learn, and also as I said, that the topics we discuss are they're not completely black and white in nature. So I think people come to learn, and also they come and share their own 2 cents. In terms of the audience, it is always heartening to see the ex-guest join, like, sir, you joined many times, and then we have other CIOs, CXOs joining, and on a specific topic they also add their views. And you also have younger workforce or a middle management coming and asking a specific question, that, okay, you spoke about AI, but this is my problem. Just give me a quick answer to that, right? So I think that is there. And as Jagdish mentioned, in terms of audience engagement, doing some of the AMAs were done to pick up all the pending questions, and there were some theme driven questions, and the survey, and then one is to do the survey. Second is to be have the courage to implement what the survey mentioned, right? So I think Jagdish and the team they have gone and implemented some of the survey findings in terms of the frequency and there, right?
All those things. There will be a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah. Because so I think so that way, the audience, and again we come across newer folks attending, asking questions, and we also have, I think, some of those people, folks attending whom I'm sure Jagdish would want to invite as a guest in the coming episodes, right? Editions. So
Absolutely.
it's been very healthy
Fantastic.
from
So
my end.
Jagdish,
So,
let me come back to you.
yes, sir, just a minute, sir. We are 7 minutes away, and I think I don't dare
You say
cross
that
it.
we are just 6 or 7 minutes. I just want a quick one from you. So, in these 50 months of personal journeys that have been shared, what have been your key takeaways? And that maybe could be our last question in case it gets too long.
Yeah. So, sir, we will take. There are a couple of questions from sets also, so we'll take. But I think, sir, I sort of thought about it when you asked me that question during the prep, and it's like one is like all our business leaders driven by business objectives. Nobody looks at himself only boxed by technology. All of them, they treat technology as levers and not a purpose in itself, right? Then there are common challenges but different approaches, and I think that's the enriching part of it, that we get to know all of these. All of them treat vendors as partners. And I think, if you look at one of the factors which I mentioned, that 95% of the talent is on the supplier side, that's a sort of necessity, right?
True.
But it also allows
Right.
you to leverage your partners well. Then they treat all business functions as their customers to whom they have to add value. It's not they have to show them some technology magic, but they have to add value. And I think the most last and the most important thing is that, sir, all of these guys, they have, from different routes, including the most humble ones, they have sought mentors, and they themselves become great mentors.
Well said. Well said. One of the points that you said, I'll just re-elaborate, where you said technology is not the end, it's a means to an end.
It's a means to an end. That's right, sir. So, sir, let me bring in. We'll sort of come towards the end. So, there is a question from Satya. How do you choose your guests for the week? So, Sats, I think this question is for me. So, one is that, so what we do is, as part of our process, we also have a post go live process. That means the guest does not leave the studio before we end the chat. I mean, after we end the chat, after we stop the go live button, we continue the chat. So we have a quick session, which is TGR, TGW, things gone right, things gone wrong. Like, for example, today's TGW was this wind noise. We have to figure out where it came from. But in that session itself, we also ask one question to our guest, who are the other ones he would like to tell us. So there have been some guests who I did not know them personally before, so I reached out to them after that recommendation. The second is, of course, my own network. I come across people who are who have some really great stories and great things to tell. I invite them on the chat as well. So the next question is to you, sir. Can we see guest hosts driven clarity by Mr. Sethi or Mr. Amarinder, where they bring their network?
You need to decide. I think host would always remain. In this case, what I just suggested was that let's have 3 hosts. So, but I think Jagdish, I can be your Amarinder on his behalf. I can say that we could be your co-host. But the primary host, you would always be the primary host.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, sir, I don't mind. I mean, see, the process is there, right? You know the process. You know the guy who runs the whole thing in the background. And I mean, whenever you guys are ready, I can extend everything, the process, technology, everything. I can extend, and actually, you can run a session. By the way, sir, I would like this to continue beyond me, because the process
I
has
just wanted to take Sat's point one step further, earlier point. So do they send in feelers to you? Jagdish, mere ko bula lo na, please.
Arey, sir.
I know, Amarinder. I'll send a message via Amarinder.
No, you asked me a very politically incorrect question because I
Politically
have
incorrect or correct?
politically because my answer is going to be politically incorrect. So which is
Okay.
going to
All
fall
questions
in,
are correct.
and then no questions are incorrect. I was avoiding that. So that's coming to Vijay sir's question, very, very pertinent question. There are people who have reached out to me, asking me to invite them, and I do, of course, my research. I talk to people that, hey, do you think he will add value to the audience? Because for me, the focus is very, very laser sharp. It's on audience, whether audience will get some value from that interaction. And for that, the discretion that I need to exercise is that, is the guy looking for a platform to get exposure, or does he have some real, what is that, under the iceberg kind of solid stuff to share with the audience? And there are people who have got themselves invited, but I've remained silent. I can't say no. I've remained silent.
So you do your
Right.
own due diligence.
I do my due diligence. In fact, just yesterday I asked Vijay sir, so and so has reached out. How do you know this guy, and how is he and all that? Yeah. So I think we got one more audience who shared something. So Benhur Santosh, wow, I love that name. That's one of my favorite movies, Benhur. Hey, thank you for your kind note, Santosh. Love it. Uh, so let's move towards the last 2 minutes. Let's close the session. I guess I think we started off with the spark that started it all, and how that purpose drives perseverance. That's how I would like to put it. Then we had learnings. Vijay sir shared how he loves to come as a guest, and how he gets different perspectives. Amarinder shared a lot of learnings as well as some stories out there, including project management, change management, and of course we got Jitendra to basically speak about sustainability after his point on sustainability here. Um, and I think I love that statement that Amrinder made: audience within a community and community within an audience.
Correct.
Right?
Good one.
And ClariTea Chat invites purpose-driven audience. So I think this chat itself, we didn't just want it to be just a celebration and tom-tomming that we've done this, but I think there should be some learnings here. There are learnings for creators as well, that have a purpose, that use technology, use SOP. And before the chat, I and Vijay were discussing that many people are starting podcasts and etc. So there is some message to them as well here, and of course. But I think it's always good to have this.
Just hold on, Jagdish. Hold on. Let me just ask you. Since I started the first question, let me ask the last question to you.
Okay, sir.
If you were to start this again today, 50 months down the line, what would you do exactly the same, or would you do very differently? And maybe then we can close that.
Sorry, if it was one thing that I did I would do it differently. But I think it has been such a journey of continuous evolution. Even if I probably start at a different place, right? I think if we follow the same process and the same, that PDCA principle planning that continuation, we'll probably land in somewhere similar place. So what I would do probably different is, maybe we became over ambitious. Started with weekly ClariTea Chat that put a lot of pressure on us. The only thing I would do differently is to take a quick survey of the audience in terms of the frequency, date, time, etc. I decided on my own. So bring them right up.
Thank you.
No, that is right.
Very candid.
Sir, no, sir. Yeah, Candid, that is right. In fact, you felt pressure as a creator. I felt pressure as an audience. and I like you say, you have done ClariTea Chat from across the globe and from the hotel, and in a hotel room to attend the wedding in the evening. I've attended Clarity Chat from not only from Bangalore, but Patiala at my in-laws house, Jaipur at my parents' house, sitting with my parents and I'm attending it. They know about it. I've attended it from while driving, while sitting on a parking lot, while families to gone to a doctor. And the interesting thing is I'm from the highway. The Udit's, I was on the highway and I was trying to attend. And when you are attending it while driving, obviously, for the first time, you want the signal to come. You want to stop and write up, right?
I know. And Amarinder has been sharing this that hey, I'm attending from here, I'm attending from there. Anyway, so thank you, Vijay and Amarinder,
Thank
for
you, dear.
joining me on this chat. I would like to recap our objective. It was to provide our audience with diverse, rich, and appealing viewpoints. And I hope we are being successful in doing that. But before we end, I thank your audience for attending and engaging and also for sharing your views through the survey. There's a survey which is ongoing. Please do participate in that. And I think today's session will be watched many more on the recording than the live version. So thank you for watching the recording as well. This is the festival time. We have, Dashara and Diwali coming up shortly. So our best wishes to everybody for the Dashara and Diwali. Please do enjoy, come together and celebrate with the family and loved ones. And thanks again, Vijay sir and Amrinder, for your support when we were starting out, and now that we're, celebrating this important milestone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear, and congratulations again, and happy Diwali, happy Dashara in advance.
And
thanks.
finally, before I end the stream, I must thank all my Clarity Chat guests who have come here and built this platform. It's not together. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great weekend and a great festival time.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Best wishes.
Bye. Thank you.